Hi there, I'm Kevin, and welcome to my Leading the Shift LinkedIn newsletter. Today we're going to look at things a little bit differently. So usually I tend to write or note down my sort of random thoughts of the week, but this time I thought it would be just as good to show you. So it's a little bit of just an overview of what we're going to walk through today. Firstly, we're going to have a little look at Wavestore's WaveView platform. And we're also going to see what we can do with some of the clips we can get out of Wavestore by combining it into KNIME Analytics, which is an open source workflow tool. So, and I guess before we jump into those details, let me tell you a little bit of the backstory. So we were working with somebody who had a project, and they were looking to read the lettering on passing trucks that were going by their facility. Their reason for doing this is that they were actually a manufacturer of some components for trucks, and they were looking to open their sales channels. So they were looking to capture company business names from the side of trucks, reach out to them via their CRM, enrich that data, and just get in touch with people passing by their premises. So what we're going to look at today then is that technique of grabbing text or reading text from video. So I'm going to show you a couple of parts to this. So firstly, I'm looking at Wavestore's WaveView platform. And as you can see, this is a security camera. It's looking outside at a passing street, and the little boxes on there are analytics boxes. So what's happening here in this particular setup is the camera is recognizing that those objects are vehicles passing by and picking up data like speed. So first of all, if we put ourselves in the shoes of that customer looking to identify trucks, what's a way that we can use our system to get hold of that information? What Wavestore has is a smart search. So let's do one right now. So I'm just going to click on New Search. I'm going to look at the last probably few hours of search on there. And the type of search I'm going to look for is an object. And I'm going to select this camera that I'm looking at right here because I know that that's got the analytics and it can see the traffic passing by on the street. What I'm going to do is look at vehicles, or more specifically, I'm going to look at trucks. I'm going to hit Next. What this does now is it allows me to identify a search area. So I'm just going to drag and move this box around so it's focused on the region where the objects will pass through, and hit Finish. What you see sort of rolling down on the left-hand side here are all the instances where trucks have been spotted going by. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move my face up here and switch the layout a little bit to a 2x2 so we can begin to look at some of these clips. So here's a little example. Let's just start rolling these first few clips in here. And as you can see, it spotted a truck going by on there. What's been identified as trucks there, a blank truck up there, and a truck up there. And we can keep rolling through these clips to see where the system has identified trucks. It's a nice Pepsi truck going by. So how can we start to make use of this data? So Wavestore is really configurable. As we've been able to search for this particular type of object, we can set up triggers. So in the background of Wavestore, in the setup menu, there's actually a rules engine. So what we can tell it to do is, if it spots a condition being met, in this case, if a truck's going through that zone, send that information out, save down that clip or save down that snapshot into a file somewhere. Alternatively, if I was that customer, I could do this manually just to test it out. What I can do is, on any of these particular screens, when I've got an image of a truck coming by, I can snap the camera and get a snapshot. I can zoom into the area of interest and just hit save. So that way I can build up my library of pictures. So that's a little walkthrough as to how you can find a particular object type in Wavestore. Now let's just flick back to here. So here's one we made earlier, as they say. So for my sins, recently I was able to hang off the side of a bridge overlooking a motorway in the UK, just to get some some standing footage to simulate how trucks might be passing by on a CCTV camera. Using the method before, I was able to run that through the Wavestore tool, get some snapshots. So here we go. As you can see, I've got a range of trucks right there where it's captured logos. We've got a bus in there for good measure. So it's not to say this method is perfect. It's just a way of testing a concept. So how can I process this information? So here's one of the secrets. What we need to do is we want to be able to read those images from that file, read the actual text on the image, which is a type of OCR manipulation, and output that OCR manipulation to something that we can share and use and hopefully put into our CRM so we can start enriching data. And this is where KNIME comes in. So KNIME is an analytics platform. It has a whole bunch of built-in nodes and types of, other sort of useful processes that you can use to process data and information. I've used this before for things like picking out details from handwritten forms or processing PDF documentation. So what this workflow does here is it starts by, on the first node, finding the files. So if we look at how that's configured, it's basically looking at where those clips or those image files were saved. So that folder I showed you earlier, that's just pointed to the contents in there. So once the platform knows where to find the images, we need to do something with them. That's where the OCR text extractor comes in. So on this, it's a node within KNIME. When it comes to configuring it, you can do so right there. What it asks for is an API key. So to get the API key, there's one available free of charge from ocr.space. So if you head to ocr.space, click on free OCR API, what you can do is grab your free API key from the platform here, which you can plug into that node in KNIME. So now what have we done? We found our files, our image files. We're now processing them through the OCR text extractor. Now we want to sort of start making sense of that information. So I have a table manipulator field right here. So I tell you what, let's just process these as we go along so we can work on that. So I'm just going to run that OCR text extraction on there. So once the platform has read where the files are located and grabbed some OCR outputs from that, as you can see, there's it's basically reading an image, from the quality of the picture, the speed at which stuff is going by, how logos are formed and whatnot. It might pick up some text that's looking a bit weird and wonderful. So what this step does is it combines the outputs with the pathways, and then there's the string cleaner, which then applies some rules and logic to the OCR output file itself. So this is where we can remove any weird and wonderful characters that are non-ASCII. If we want to remove accents, we can make that choice. We can also look to remove white spaces. So I generally recommend to remove a leading white space. So when it comes to importing the data into your CRM, you're not sort of coming across any weird and wonderful things. And as you get more sort of in-depth with the usage in this, there's all manner of rules that you can apply. Now what I want to do with my list is not just have the text from the images, but also link back to that reference point. So the path to URL node in KNIME allows you to take a list or like a string, a text-based list of paths, and turn it into a hyperlink within your table. So just to, it's a straightforward node. It's going to add another column onto our data table. And then the final thing is, as well as having the link to the image, I want a preview of that image. So this read images is a node that will take the URL node within KNIME and have a little preview image. And at the end, I've got two outputs. I've got a table view, which will bring up a preview of my text within KNIME itself, then an Excel writer. And what that will do is save this into a spreadsheet. So that could be the tool that I can use to, or the file I can use to import into my CRM. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to reset all there and start from scratch. So just to recap, what I have is I've looked through Wavestore, through WaveView. I've got snapshots of my I guess, my vehicles in question with different logos on there. And what KNIME's going to do is read the images in these files and get some text-based analysis or text-based view of what the writing is on the side of each of those trucks. So let's hit execute all. So it's read the files, it's currently processing the OCR information. It works sequentially, so it quickly flies through. It's got the table view and it's now currently writing my Excel. If we wait a couple of seconds, what should happen is the Excel should open with the data as it's completed. Again, it's not a perfect looking thing. It's, to be honest, quite messy, but it is a concept right now. What we're looking at is trying to see if we can do it, if we can achieve what we're looking to do. And as you can see here, the OCR has read the word McGregor and McGregor Logistics specifically, and it's looked at, it's identified all the text on the side of that vehicle there. So McGregor Logistics Limited, flexible logistics solution, almost spotted worldwide if it's obscured a little bit by the sign there, haulage, storage and distribution with a reference image. And likewise, it's done the same as best as it can, processing the other files. Some of these it hasn't brought any text. This is where the logo could be more of a piece of artwork rather than straightforward lettering. And for example, on this one, it's missed the range, but it's picked up the text of the website, so the range.co.uk. So it's all picking through there. I guess this also adds some credence to it. Is it the range or orange? Because it's picked up the O on the logo. And here we go. So we've got some data that's coming through. Within KNIME, it's the same, similar view to what you have in Excel with the image pathways there as well. So if we want to continue your work within KNIME, it's all there. Or you have the Excel version that you can process and process it however you'd like. So in a nutshell, that is just a beginner's guide to how to read text that's contained within video or image files using open source tools such as KNIME that's available. If you're interested in finding out more and seeing other KNIME use cases, whether that's processing your PDF forms or doing some other forms of automation, give me a shout. I'm always interested in hearing or learning more about other places where we can apply this tech and help you lead the shift in your business. Thank you very much and see you again soon.